All right, everybody, welcome back to our Building the International Space Station series. Um, so now, right now, today, we are launching kind of an interim stage or module one, node one, which was also called the Unity module. Launched in 2000. One of the first three modules up there. The last one, the Russians launched the very last module before it became manned. Right after the Unity module. Unfortunately, I spent approximately an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, attempting to get the US lab, which is where the truss section crosses to attach to the trusses. And it absolutely was game breaking. As soon as we get close to the docking module, we would get flung off and break one of the radiators, and many launches and relaunches later and revisions, it was determined that we needed to add a node on this station that doesn't exist. Now, there may be something like this on the station because doing research on the International Space Station for this video, so I can get it as close as KSP possible, or as close as we're willing to do in KSP for what we need anyway. Um, the actual section in which the truss crosses the pressurized section is a little bit fuzzy. There's lots of different diagrams, but nothing really too great. I'm using a blown up version, like a blown up diagram of the station to build it, and it's a little confusing at best. So this part of the station probably won't be exactly how it's supposed to be. Um, but it's going to work for what we need it to do. So I don't know if this section actually exists on the station. I don't think that it does, but it's just absolutely necessary for what's been happening to do this. So I have this named Node 1 in brackets because it's not Node 1. we'll just leave it at that. So this is just a six-sided cube with docking ports on it. We'll attach it to the bottom of the truss structure, and it will begin the construction of the pressurized sections of the station. So on the front of this, and front is going to be oriented as the uh, direction away from the panels. So the radiators will be pointing towards the back, and in front of the panel, the solar panels, with the radiators pointing the opposite direction, that would be the what we call the front of the station, just for orientation's sake. So we'll launch this node, which I'm not sure if it actually exists, but we're launching this node. We're attaching it. In front of that will be node 1, the Unity module. In front of that, we're going to build out the US lab, and then we're going to continue to build the US section of the station first. And I didn't do these launches as gracefully as I did the other ones because I was getting real tired. I was like, this has got to work. So we used some more time warp and stuff. I was trying to make it so the second stage, um, we only had one ignition on the second stage, and it was the upper stage that did all the reigniting and stuff to try to keep it as close to realistic as possible. But I was able to keep the second stage to only two ignitions, and so that's still pretty realistic. But anyway, we're going to finish building out the U.S. segment of the station, and then we will work backwards. We're not going to put the next Russian module up and then man it with the two Kerbals like they did when they were actually building it, just because, like I said, we're not doing a history thing. I just need a station in order to do current missions. Um, so we're just getting it built. That's why we're using the same launcher. We're not using space shuttles. We're not using proton rockets, things like that. We're just working on getting it built. So here we go, working on circularizing our orbit with this interim module. And interim is probably the incorrect word because that means that we would be replacing it sometime with the thing that it's supposed to be. But it's just going to be there. So I don't know. Call it what you want. Um, we could just call it like the truss pressurized section interface or something dumb. I'm sure NASA would have some absolute terrible acronym for it that we all hate, but Just working on circularizing this orbit. We don't want to continue to burn prograde because we keep raising our apoapsis, so we're going to tip up a little bit now. Okay, now we need to just fix our inclination. Like always, I hope that these videos don't get too boring because it is kind of the same thing over and over and over again. And playing it feels like the same thing over and over and over again. We launch, we fix the inclination, we get an intercept, we dock, we move on. But unfortunately, that's just what it is. It's not too glamorous, but um, yeah, here we are. So, however, if you are having problems docking in Kerbal Space Program, these will be good videos to watch because you get to um, watch the docking and rendezvous over and over and over again. So maybe you can, it'll help you get better at it yourself. Doing this burn. I really like the Unity module. It turned out really great. Um, you're gonna see that. That'll be the next part. Alright, so now we just need to work on getting an intercept. And I actually pre-recorded this one. This isn't live gameplay, so I'm gonna fast forward just for the sake of all of our sanity. We'll fast forward to the intercept burn. There we go. And here we go with the intercept burn. Raising up that apoapsis up to the height of the station and a little beyond because we're still playing catch up a little bit. There we go. And let's look at our intercept. Catching up. And there we go. We need to go in and rename things so it's less confusing for you guys to see where we're going. And this burn will lower our apoapsis, raise our periapsis, and decrease our closure rate with our station. Very important burn right here. And then we're going to point towards it and perform another burn. Do this a little quicker as we got plenty of delta V. There's our station. That looks so good. Coming around, coming into view. That's pretty great. Really happy with the way it's turning out so far. Now those radiators may stay retracted like that because otherwise they're so wide and they pivot. I didn't make them wide enough apart and they will hit our station parts. So they may stay collapsed like that for the most part just to prevent breaking and the summoning the Kraken. So we'll just see. Alright, coming in. Let's get our target selected. Wrong buttons are being pushed. And we messed up. That's okay. Come back, station. Activate our reaction control system. Please don't hit the station. That would be really sad. Nah, we're good. Alright, now we're just going to dock and be done with it. So, another pretty short video. But here we are with our pseudo truss pressurized capsule interface. And this recording seems a little short. I guess we still got 2 minutes left in the recording, so I guess we get the docking. But just in case, if we're paying attention to the docking and the video cuts out before, we're just going to dock this on. Docking goes good. Now we're going to get our Node 1 up, the Unity module. My computer didn't find any threats. That's great. In case you all wanted to know. Alright, let's get lined up here at this docking node. Be important to make sure that we get all this nice and square, otherwise everything else will be crooked. And I'm sure our station will be a little bit crooked anyway, but the best we can do to minimize that at the beginning, the better. Little bounce. Oh, good. That's perfect. Yeah, that's real good. I'm very excited about that. Okay, let's undock. We'll decouple. Awesome. It's technically officially a station. We got power generation, heat dispersion, and a pressurized capsule. Will be a very uncomfortable station, and power generation is a little overkill, but hey, technically a station. We'll just deorbit this, making sure we don't leave any orbital debris, and we'll catch you in the next video.